All right, y'all. What's up? It's Makia Golliday. Some people know me as Kia. Some people know me as Palm Tree Princess or DJ Cajun Spice. And I'm here with Bernard Cunningham Jr. of BRYTE. And of course, he always brings the light everywhere he goes. It's no pun intended. Just honored to know him. Not only is he my friend, but he's also a friend of many. Okay, Mortar alumni, Ball High alumni. We both class of 2017, all for ball. You know how we do. And he's also a two-time alumni of how they say it, the Prairie View A&M University in Prairie View, Texas. So I'm just glad to have him here. Oh, I forgot. He's also an architect. Mm-hmm. And he's a streetwear extraordinaire. As you can see behind us, we have some of his amazing streetwear right there. So, yeah, I'm just excited to have him on this Hustle Hour Hustlers Highlight. You know, this is something new that we have decided to introduce. So I hope y'all like it. Because y'all gonna like it. Because, I mean, it's me and Bernard. What's not to like? So, let's get into it.
All right.
So, all right. Can you take us to the beginning of BRYTE? How did you start your business?
Blast from the past. Okay, so somewhere like post-COVID, I was in the studio at the time because I had a friend who was rapping, doing whatever it is he do, and I had got a notification off of Facebook, and somebody was basically like donating t-shirt equipment, and a lot of people was just commenting my name and was like, yeah, he knows what to do with it, XYZ. And mind you, at the time, I had no aspiration or dreams to run a clothing brand, and people was just commenting my name. And I think at the time, I was really just doing like logos and flyers, just things of that nature. So that's really where it began. Should I take it a step further or just leave it at that?
I mean, I already know this story, but I feel like y'all should know the story. Because part of hustling, sometimes it's not always, on you. Like the kids say, it's in you. Uh-huh. So I want to know like the real story.
The real story. Yeah. Okay. So in that case, BRYTE initially started, I want to say in 2020, like officially. Mm-hmm. I did like a full-blown photo shoot, things of that nature. It started off at my mama's house, Keisha. Shout out to Keisha. And I had like a group of friends just basically put on my merch, and we just went off from there, truth be told. And also at the time I was at Prairie View, but at the time, you couldn't be like actually on campus like due to COVID, so to say. And yeah, that's pretty much how it started. Is that what we're looking for?
Okay, so we almost there, so I'm gonna help him a little bit. So of course he mentioned Miss Keisha, love her down. She always opened her house as a space for us kids, to get away and have a safe place to be. So shout out to Miss Keisha. Now Bernard did mention her, but she also had her own business, right?
Okay.
Tell us about that.
I see where you. I see where you're going with this. Okay, so if I can remember, my mom and her husband at the time, they owned a clothing boutique in Galveston off of Broadway. I think it's like right next to Sonic's. And they sold men's and women fashion there. And the name of the store was called The Heights. And mind you, they opened up in 2005. And man, I met so many people through that store. And I just got to see like the different things people were wearing. I think one of the fondest memories I have at that time was just like seeing Baby Nate. Like the shoes, yeah. Like at the time, I didn't know what it was or what it was worth. But looking back, I was like, man, you didn't know what you had right then and there. And then they lost it all after Hurricane Ike in 2008, and they just never reopened it up. But I think that was like my earliest inspiration for like at least selling clothes, not making clothes necessarily, but selling clothes.
And I appreciate you for sharing it with us because he didn't have to share that. I know I was pressuring him low key. But I just felt like that was important to share because, with everything that I do, it really stems from, your parents.
Yeah.
And, they always say, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Mm-hmm. Your parents want you to be better than them, and, just chasing your dreams. So I know she's proud of you because I don't care what nobody say. Everybody know BRYTE. My grandma know BRYTE. Okay, everybody knows their logo from the schools, the young kids, everybody, and it's just really amazing to see because don't nobody else deserve it more than Bernard to me, at least in my eyes.
I'll take it.
Because he's very humble. He don't let the lights and the cameras and all the brightness. He don't dim nobody else, even though he's bright. No pun intended. But yeah, I really appreciate that. So speaking of BRYTE, since we're on the BRYTE side, how did BRYTE get its name?
Oh, that's a good question. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell the story. So if we're gonna fast forward from the time I just mentioned that I got the T-shirt equipment donated to me, things of that nature, and at the time, all I could really think about was making like custom clothes because the person who donated made custom clothes. But I knew I wanted to take it a step further. But I was like, man, I don't want a corny name. I don't want like no corny acronym, like just something people just slap on and then they be done with it within like a week or two. I wanted something that was gonna stick, something that was kind of subliminal, but when you seen it, you knew what it meant, if that makes sense. So as far as the story goes, I was actually brainstorming on a name for the brand. I was actually heading to Galveston, and I was just thinking in my head, just running through different names, and out of nowhere, like the sun. I kid you not, the sun was just like beaming, like out of nowhere. I kid you not, and I was like, man, it's bright. And immediately after I said that, I kept saying the word bright, bright, bright. I pulled the visor down. I kept saying it. I was like, I can work with that. I can work with that. And fast forward, once I got home, I told my mama about it. And I went in my room and I was still just pondering on the word like bright, bright. Like, what is bright? Like, what is bright? And I went ahead and shortened the word and I spelled it BRYTE. And later down the line, I went skydiving, right? I went skydiving, and Makia's dad, DJ Big Man, he mixed up the video for me and whatnot, and he was like, "Man, what does bright mean? Like, what does bright mean?" And I kid you not, I was just like, "Bright is bright." Like the same way you look at Nike, Nike is Nike. Like there's no underlining meaning behind it. And me and him just sat on the phone, maybe like 30 minutes. And we came up with Be Righteous, You're the Example. So that's the story behind it.
Okay, so that's the fun fact, y'all, because I really did not know that.
Yeah.
I knew about the video, but I didn't know about that part. So I really like how you said that because, he was standing on his business and standing on his brand, which I believe is very important because you was like, bright is bright. You like, that's what it is, and you knew your intentions behind it. So I feel like you said, the name speaks for itself. You just walk in, you ain't got to do too much. They see the shirt, they like, oh, okay, whose shirt is that? And then, you tell them or whatnot. So you already standing out. But what do you think makes BRYTE stand out? And do you have any upcoming releases that you can, share? Give us a little sneak peek.
Gotcha. I think the way, I'm not even going to say I think. I know the way BRYTE stands out is simply because there are a lot of clothing brands out here in this world or fashion houses, things of that nature. But a lot of the people who come up with these clothing brands, they're not physically touching the fabrics. They're not physically designing the artwork. 9 times out of 10, they send it off to somebody else to do it. And it's just like, they don't really have the opportunity to really get intertwined with the whole process from like start to finish. So I take a little bit more pride in that. It's a little bit more work, obviously, but I take more pride in knowing like I could say like everything about this piece is something that I selected specifically for y'all to wear and not just what somebody just gave to me, if that makes sense. And I say all that to say I'm not down to anybody who is in that position or who does run their brand that way, but that's just the way I decide to run my brand. And I say all that to say I'm not doing that 100% of the time because, like, I can admit I don't know how to sew. Period, point blank. I don't know how to sew. I don't have an embroidery machine, so I let the experts do that. But I am coming up with the design. I'm letting them know like how I want the dimensions, things of that nature. And I say all that to say I have an upcoming release. It's some jean shorts or jorts, whatever you want to call them. And I've titled them Astro shorts. They should be releasing sometime in September, maybe like the first week or the second week. So first or second week. So keep on the lookout for that.
Okay, so y'all already know. By the time this drop and y'all see this, them shorts are gonna be ready for y'all. And as you can see, like I said, you know, BRYTE, he say if it's bright, it gotta be right. So that's why he do his research. So I want to know, how do you define success, and has that definition evolved over time as you continue to grow?
Okay. Okay. How do I define success? Oh man. I think you can define success in many ways, honestly. But for me personally,
Mhm.
uh, I just think it's about standing on everything that you said you was gonna do and actually doing it. Even if that in that moment you don't even think you can accomplish it or do it, I think it's uh very important that you at least try to do those things.
Mhm.
That way you can take it as like, okay, well I tried it this way, well it didn't work out, but let me try it another way. And you can literally keep doing that until it works out for you and not listening to like outsiders and their opinions on success. Because at the end of the day, like I said, everybody has a different opinion on success. So that's how I take it.
Okay. So I like what you said. So are you feeling like as you constantly try and meet your marks,
Hmm.
it's room for you to evolve as time goes on?
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Because at the end of the day, success never ends. Like you can make a goal today to run a marathon, right? And
Mhm.
then you could say, okay, well, I've done the marathon, but now it's like, okay, what's next? Like, are you gonna do the same thing, or are you gonna try to take it a step further? And that person who's asking that question, they can go run a triathlon, and and so forth. So,
Okay. So what does the term hustle mean to you? Because you know we at the hustle hour, hustlers highlight. So I want to know what you think about that.
hustlers, uh, man, hustlers. So my definition of a hustler would be somebody who is gonna put in the work. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Hmm.
They gonna put in the work. They not gonna sit there and complain. They not gonna make excuses. They gonna put in the work because they know they got stuff they gotta do. So that means staying up all night. That might mean not eating for half the day just because you don't got the money yet. That means making sacrifices for your family. That means so many things. So uh and there also are hustlers who do things that aren't, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Conventional.
Yeah, well, there are some hustlers who do some things that aren't conventional, but they still hustling, until they can get to the point where they are doing something that is more conventional or that isn't frowned upon. So yeah, that's what I think a hustler is. Somebody who just gonna wake up every day, put their best foot forward,
Hmm.
and just do what they gotta do.
Okay, I like that. I
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
So, since you already gave me your definition of what a hustler is,
Uh-huh.
do you feel like hustlers are born, or hustlers are they built? Excuse me.
Ooh. Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, uh, if I'm looking at my peers, my family, just taking everything that I've seen
Mhm.
in this world, uh, I think hustlers are built.
Okay.
I think they are built. Some of them are born, but I think for the most part, hustlers are built. Because man, it's just so much. It's so much stuff that you have to consider when you are out there hustling. It's not just like, oh, I have this plan and I'm gonna do it. It's more so you have to think about everything in between. But I definitely think hustlers are built rather than born.
Okay, so this is a little bonus question I'm gonna throw in.
Oh
So
man.
since you said
Oh
hustlers are
man.
built
Uh-huh.
and they're not born, have you seen anybody building around the island, or just in Texas, period, or
Mhm.
maybe out of Texas, that you really see and you like, okay, I want to give a shout out to them for what they working on.
Oh, just one person?
I mean, you can do about three, whoever, whatever you see fit. How about that?
Okay. First and foremost, I'm gonna shout out Callie, the CEO. She's on Instagram.
Okay.
Uh, we were both at Preview once upon a time, and yeah, she's been working like crazy. I mean, anytime I'm logging in on like social media, I'm seeing her posting stuff. She hosts like streetwear markets. She hosts plenty of events for like creatives throughout the Houston area. Uh, and then I could piggyback off of that. Man, not what's his name. Forgive me. I'm gonna shout out Michael Fox. With Modern Era. I think that's like a real true definition of a hustler. I didn't seen this man do rugs. I didn't seen him DJ as of late.
Yeah.
I didn't seen him do multiple clothing brands. He's sticking with this one though. He's sticking with this one. And then if I can pick somebody like specifically from Galveston, ooh, I'm gonna shout out. I'm gonna shout out Stormy.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out Stormy with what is the Island Vibe magazine. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna shout them out. I'm gonna shout her out or whoever she's partnered with. Simply because I was just at El Ray's this morning and I seen a magazine there and I was like, okay, like they put in the work in. So
Well, we just gonna give a shout out to Callie. I don't know her, but I appreciate all that she doing.
yeah.
If Bernard said it's good, I believe it. I know firsthand, creating it ain't easy, but somebody got to do it. Shout out to Mike. We actually went to school with him, so that's really cool seeing him do his thing. And shout out to Stormy and Island Vibe magazine. They've been the hustle hours, so we love Island Vibe. They have talked to me and Bernard about some things, have interviewed me, so just love them down. Period. So yeah. What's your hustle theme song? Because I'm Cajun Spice. We gotta talk about the music now.
Hustle theme song.
Yes, I want to know.
Can I only pick one or can I pick two?
He want to pick. You can pick multiple, Bernard. Your
Okay.
hustle mixtape.
Okay, so a lot of my hustle songs, I have a playlist. It's not titled hustle, but I got a hustle playlist, and I rely on throwbacks. So 1st and foremost, I'm gonna go with Lil Wayne 3-Peat. That's first and foremost.
Okay.
And you gonna put it in the background?
I could try.
Okay. Lil Wayne 3-Peat. That's one of them. And then the second one is gonna be Rich Homie Quan Walkthrough.
Okay.
That's my.
He be feeling like the man when he walk through.
That's my top two.
Okay, so I like that. I like that. I'm gonna have to add that to my hustle playlist.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. What is the greatest piece of advice you ever received, and who did it come from? If you could share. If not, you could share your second greatest advice.
That is a great question. I don't think I have a specific person that I've had the best advice from because I kid you not, I listen to people, but sometimes they go in one ear and out the other. But the people that I do listen to, like anything that they share with me, I kind of combine it in a sense with other people that I've also take heed to. So it's kind of like just stuck with me. Like I can't distinguish the best advice, but if somebody asks me for advice, it's just gonna spew out whatever I've heard from those people, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I mean, I could probably give some advice, but we can wait. We can wait on that.
I was gonna say, I think I'm gonna ask you some advice later.
Okay.
So that's cool. I just want to know, if something had dropped in, your spirit, and you was like, okay, they told me this. But let's move on. What's been your most memorable experience as an entrepreneur, and what did you learn from that?
My most memorable experience as an entrepreneur. So many experiences. I want to say my biggest experience was at the time I was at Prairie View, and I don't know how I found out about this program. It's called HBCU FI, and long story short, I went through like this pre-accelerator program for small businesses, and me being the student that I was, and having BRYTE at the time, uh, they actually considered me to be a contestant and fly out to like Washington D.C. just so I can pitch my business idea in front of hundreds of people. And long story short, I did get selected. I went out there, although I didn't win the grand prize. I still received a prize, and that was simply because I had over 7,000 votes prior to the pitch competition, and they said that they had never had any contestant that had that many votes select them. So, shout out to HBCUFI. It was a wonderful experience. Love Washington D.C. I think y'all cater to all the contestants well, and I can't wait to see what everybody else does in the future.
Thank you for sharing that.
hmm
And I know I didn't know all the ins and outs about that, but I know I saw you talking about it.
hmm
And I just thought that it was a beautiful thing because honestly, being from Galveston, sometimes I'll be like, everybody, we need to support Galveston. We need to
Yeah.
support Galveston. We don't always get that. But I know when Bernard shared what he was doing, he was like, hey, y'all, this is what I'm doing. Here's the link if y'all want to vote. I was on there like clockwork. I know plenty of other people was too. So just to see that he was able to advance and he was still recognized in some way, that's
hmm
just a lesson for y'all that's listening because sometimes you may feel like, oh, I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that. But they literally made a whole different, if I'm listening correctly, a whole unique prize just for him because he did something different.
hmm
That just shows you how innovative he is and how if it's for you, it's for you. It can't nobody take that away from you.
Yeah.
So I just really like that. So speaking on giving him his flowers, why he could smell them and all that, and admiring everything he does and he continues to do. I just love your branding. Honestly, I don't feel like I've ever told you that, but just seeing it on social media. Obviously, this is his stuff right here, but
hmm
it's like when you see it on social media, I'm like, dang, I need to step my game up. And you see, I know him personally, so it's just like, wow. Like when you see it, it just really is up there with the likes of brands like Telfar and with high end brands and stuff like that. Because don't get it twisted, this high end too. But I mean, it's up there with other brands that I've
yeah.
seen, even celebrities create and celebrities wear. So I just really love that.
hmm
Especially, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. What everything is good, but what really sold me for real was the shoot with the red and the black
hmm
jackets. I was like, wait a minute now. I said, can you make that in my size? Cause I want to put on a jacket. I want one. But yeah, it was really I just loved it. So basically, my question is, cause I'm yapping.
hmm
Can you share your process and a marketing tactic that works wonders for you? Like, how do you come up with this stuff?
Oh, ooh, that's a good question. Uh, so you want to get into the point A to Z, or you want to get to the point with the consumacy?
Mm. You can give me what you can
Because
give
if
me.
I give you A to
Look, you
Z,
ain't got to give me. Look, they say the game is to be sold, not told. You can tell a little bit. So you could just give me like what the consumer see.
gotcha. So, I'm not gonna gatekeep. That's first and foremost.
I
Uh,
wasn't telling him to, but I was just like,
uh,
I don't know if he want to share all that.
uh. So I think initially, um I might see something, whether it's like I'm reading, or if like I'm on social media, or if I'm watching a movie or anime, just something that I've seen in the world, and I'm like, man, I really like that, and I ask myself like, what is it about this that I like? And I'll sit there, I'll pause the movie, TV show, pause the TikTok, Instagram, and look at it and be like, what is it about this that I really like? And once I figure that out, or if I even do figure that out, I try to implement it into my brand, and I try to stick with the asterisk some way, somehow, or at least the name or some type of message behind it, and just try to like mash it all together without it just being like overstimulating in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like I try to keep it nice and clean and neat for the most part, and I just put my spin on it, and then I'm going straight to the drawing board after that. Once I got that laid out in my head with a pen or a pad as well, I'm going straight to the drawing board. I would draw it up, sketch it up, uh, and then bring it into like Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator, design a mock up, whatever the case may be. And then as far as like the after process or the post process of that is figuring out how I'm gonna get it made. When do I want to drop it? And then I would literally be able to drop it within like a month, so to say, give or take. And then as far as like leading up to the release, I hit up a few friends or people that I just know who like to model, who actually model, and and hit them up. And it's me taking the pictures or any videos or any content that you see on the social media platforms. 9 times out of 10, it's me. So I'm gonna shoot, take the pictures, take about a week editing them because I don't want to just bomb rush people with pictures every day, all day. Uh, and then outside of that, I think I also am mindful of if it is a clothing brand that I see out there in the world, or just like any piece of like clothing at all, like it could be you styling something on Instagram. I'm like, man, like, okay, like this stuck with me. So how can I do the same thing for my brand some way, somehow? Because ain't nothing new under the sun. So when people say like, oh, they copying all that, ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
So I think the best advice I can give as far as that is just figure out what you like, not what everybody else like. If they like you, they gonna like whatever you put out into this world. And if there's nobody like locally or immediately directly related to you, it'll be somebody out there in the world who like.
I like that you said that because I feel like a lot of times, I'm going to just speak from my experience. I kind of get in my head sometimes. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to post it. And I say I'm not a perfectionist, but I low key am. And I overthink everything. So a lot of times I find myself not even posting. But I like how he said, if they like you, they're going to like your content. And sometimes your family and all that, they may love you, but the key word is like. So, they don't always have to, support or share what you got going on. But, you still keep going because somebody is seeing it. Like, prime example, I love, how Galveston he is. So, another side question. What do these numbers mean on this BRYTE shirt?
I don't think I can release. No, I'm just playing.
Oh, look, you can't sell out of it, my bad.
So this T-shirt, honestly, this is my second time dropping it, just in a better fabric this time around. But as far as like the coordinates, these coordinates are like the coordinates to the area of my neighborhood at the time, which is centered around my mama house, but this is not my mama house. And then as far as like this artwork underneath it, this is like an abstract idea of Hurricane Ike landing on Galveston Island. And I thought this was down to earth because, I mean, I'm from Galveston. Like, we go through hurricanes. I've never seen anything pertaining to a hurricane on a T-shirt. If somebody was to ask me about it, I can give them the story behind it. So that's how I came up with it.
And I feel like, honestly, that's just a powerful sentiment, period. Because it's just like a full circle moment, if you will. They had so many businesses when the great 1900 storm hit, and we actually hit. I don't want to lie and say how many years, so I'll put that on the screen, however many years it is. But they commemorated that. If they haven't done it already, they're about to. And also just the fact that people had to rebuild after that. And you talked about your mom owning her business, and now this is really, in my eyes, and I don't know if you see it, is that like almost a second coming, if you will. And now you're doing your thing, and then you have that, and it's the abstract hurricane, and it's just bringing it all together. Everybody knows hurricane do us in, especially down here on the coast. And for some reason, every time we just come back 10 times harder. It don't matter if you under 10 feet of water. It don't matter if you lose everything. I just feel like that speaks to the heart of Galvestonians, and just the island, period. You gotta take what you got, mix it up, make it happen. No matter how the wind's blowing. So, speaking of winds blowing, obviously you can see that Bernard is a very confident individual, humble. He knows his stuff. But I do want to ask you a few questions that are, just a little bit deeper.
Okay.
If these questions resonate with you, if not, it is what it is. Don't apply, let it fly, right? So,
All right.
do you ever get imposter syndrome? And if you do, how do you deal with that?
So I would say I have had the case of imposter syndrome, but not directly related to my clothing brand. It was more so like in the architecture field,
Okay.
just like being fresh out of college. And it's like, yeah, you finally got the job. And then being a black man in America, let alone being a black man in a predominantly white field, which
Mhm.
is architecture, you kind of get this feeling, or I've had the feeling, it's like, well, am I supposed to be here? Like, am I a token to them? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I think my job uh, handles that situation well by letting me know, like, I'm more than welcome there. The staff is super cool. If I have any questions, they down to answer them. They all down to earth. Company is pretty diverse. I'm shouting out my company. Uh, but yeah, I definitely had it. And then I would also say another way to deal with it is just like take a step back and just see what's making you feel this way. And 9 times out of 10, you might just realize like you're in a vulnerable state and you just don't know everything and you need this opportunity to learn something. 9 times out of 10.
Well, thank you for sharing that because, again, he didn't have to share that. So I really
Hmm.
appreciate it. So you're talking about, dealing with imposter syndrome and, that could tie into self doubt and things like that. And you just stepping back and taking a moment to breathe. So are there any other, tactics that you use and strategies to stay motivated when you find yourself feeling those feelings?
Specifically, feelings meaning imposter syndrome
Yeah,
or
like imposter syndrome, self doubt. Like whenever you just feel down and you feel like your world ain't bright enough.
oh man.
Like, what do you do to keep going?
There's one or two things that I'm gonna do, or a
Hmm.
combination of both. Uh, I think first and foremost, depending on how severe it is, I'm just gonna send a prayer up. That's
Exactly.
that's that's first and foremost. That way, I can at least think straight. Uh, and then another thing that I would do is just again like take that step back and just figure out what's making you feel this way. Like I don't know if you've been through this, but like
Mm.
you can be having a good day and then all of a sudden something happened. Like you could look at your phone and you seen something you didn't like, and then you go on about your day, and then you be like, man, why I feel like this? And
Yeah.
then you got to sit back and think for a second and be like, oh, this is why I feel like this. And then after that, you need to ask yourself, is it in my control? Can I fix this?
Mm.
And if I can, and I'm not acting on it, then that's just on you. I mean, like I said, hustlers are built; they not born. So you just got to go ahead and go figure it out. So,
And I appreciate you for sharing that. And since he being transparent, I do have those feelings a lot. And I'm the type of person I try not to act like that.
mhm.
But like, say I see somebody like they may be hating on my business, and I'm like, not my business. And then all of a sudden, I start feeling like, and work is hard. Like Bernard, I work a 9 to 5 as well. So, sometimes work is very stressful. So if I have a stressful day at work, all of a sudden I go down this whole rabbit hole and I'm like, why am I not here? Why am I not there? And you just start getting angry. But like he said, you gotta pray about it. Whatever you choose to do in your faith, pray about it, whatever, and just work through those feelings because hustlers are built. So if
Mhm.
you allowing your emotions to build up this wall,
Mhm.
you got to knock it down to continue to build your business. Because if not, you're just building a fortress around yourself, and you're not getting anywhere. And our strategy is, our goal is to grow. So since
Mhm.
we talked about, his day job, just tying a little bit more into that, how do you balance your career as an architect and your personal life, all while running this amazing company, BRYTE?
Ooh, I wish I had the answer, y'all. I wish I had a straight answer, but man, it's more or less. Uh, I already knew what I signed up for when I
Yeah.
started the brand. I already knew what it was. I didn't know what it was gonna take, but I knew what I needed to do for me to get to where I needed to be. But balancing, well, initially it was school.
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah,
school,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
work, right, in my personal life.
Ooh.
And now I can say it's somewhat just like bleeds together simultaneously. And I only say that because uh I'm not the type of person where I want to be juggling
Mm-hmm.
hats throughout the day, or I want to put on a facade throughout the day. I want to wear it all together. That way I don't have to think about it. I don't have to code switch. I don't have to do none of those
Yeah.
things. I'd rather just, and that kind of ties into like my identity that because I'm becoming a man and whatnot. But yeah, I would say for anybody else though, as far as like trying to balance those things out, uh, man, get a calendar.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that, get a calendar,
Yes.
because now I'm a man to where I'm becoming a man to where like I have to put it on my calendar. Otherwise, I'm either gonna double book that same day,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna have to miss out on one of the events because I didn't promise somebody else I was gonna be there. Or you could also just not initially just accept like invitations to certain things, whether it's work
Yeah.
related, school related, friend related, any of those things. You could just say, I'm gonna get back with you and I'll let you know. Or you can try to schedule something else outside of that. That way you don't necessarily feel bad about something, but you can show somebody like you appreciate their time, but the time just ain't timing right now. Like we just not
Mm.
aligning. So I would say just try to distinguish them if you can, but if you can't, that's okay. You probably just want to wear all the hats at one time.
And I like that he said that because, like me, I'm the type of person, I tell people all the time, I'm like three different people in one. You know, Cajun Spice may not be talking right now. You talking to Kill, but we can pop in and out simultaneously to handle the business. But
Right.
calendars are important because balancing your personal life is showing up for those people that you love and them showing up for you. But like Bernard said, you do not want to double book. I done had so many times where I done told like one time, this is so bad, y'all. That's when I was like, okay, you gotta get better. So I would write stuff in my notes sometimes or just in my phone calendar, but not my Google calendar and all that. And I told somebody, oh yeah, I could DJ. Mind you, it was on a Thursday. I already had obligations on Thursday nights. Luckily, my dad DJs as well, and he's a dang good DJ. So he was able to, help me. But I was like, I never want to be in that situation again because I almost went as far as collecting the retainer's fee and
Oh.
signing the contract. Like, that's crazy. Luckily, it was just, us speaking about it. But yeah, it's important that you do that. Because even me and Bernard, we cool. We hang out sometimes. But I value his time. So I sent the calendar invite. Because I
I
was like,
appreciate
it
it.
needs to be there. So we don't get double booked. But yeah, you gotta do what you need to do for you and your business. So, how do you think others describe your work ethic, Bernard?
If Makia ain't described it already, I'll
Yeah, I
describe
did.
it. I think people would describe my worth ethic. I'm not even gonna say I think.
Mm, he's positive
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know because I hear it more often than not, especially when I come home.
Yeah.
I'm very persistent. I'm gonna say that much.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Like people will see me. You might see me taking pictures one day. You might see me pressing the clothes or screen printing the clothes. You might see me not even doing anything pertaining to Bright. I might just be doing a custom bulk order that's like
Mhm.
25 to 50 shirts or something like that. Just because I know like it's money to be made. Like it's also
Mhm.
slow seasons. Like how do you compensate for slow seasons?
Yeah.
Uh, or I might just be somewhere in the community just taking pictures for an event and just just trying to
Mhm.
get out there and network while I'm doing it. I'm just not just sitting at home thinking about what I could do. I'm not trying to make it perfect. If it's an opportunity, no matter how big or small, I'm gonna take it just because, especially if it aligns with my calendar. And yeah.
So I would even add that I feel like you're personable. I've never seen Bernard be in the same place with somebody, and he may not even know them, but they know him and the brand, and he's always, kind to them and giving folks a shout out for wearing it. Like, prime example, I wore my hoodie, which I love. I need to get some more, but I wore my hoodie to a DJ event. I posted it. I was like, y'all, if I said something about BRYTE and I tagged him, and he was appreciative that I had it on. I ain't wear it, to be seen, but I know we cool. And I was like, okay, let me, wear the shirt. It was a neon party, but he knows me. And of course he was appreciative, but even people that he doesn't know, he's appreciative about. I would even say you're innovative, even with the whole hurricane thing and the coordinates. It's a lot of brands in Galveston, some that are new, some that have been around for a long time, and they do their thing too, so it's no shade to them, but I feel like Bernard does a lot of different things that a lot of people do not do. I ain't seen nobody with, the utility jackets and the vest and all that. I think even my sister bought a vest. I was like, girl, what you need a vest for? But, she do have, maybe she can shout out to Lock In with Dollars. Maybe she could put some clips in the chest. I don't know. But, he's just that person. And he's always everywhere. I even remember one time he was at a pop-up shop. And it was in a, unusual location. And I was like, oh, this is random that somebody's having something here. But he made the best of what he was doing. And he had everything laid out for everybody,
Which pop-up shop this was?
It was at the hall.
Oh, in Galveston?
Yeah.
Like near...
Harborside.
Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
So he had everything laid out. And I was like, oh, okay. I was coming to get a shirt. But I was like, he got sweatpants, he got this, he got that. And, we went away with a couple of things. Because, one, I want to support my friend. But also because he didn't just be like, oh, I know Makia, we cool. Y'all take care of her. He was like, all right, Makia, what you need? What you want to get? Hey, I got this, that, and the other. And he was still treating me like a customer. And also, I'll even add this. He believes in those around him, right? So, Bernard, he had an anniversary event. Probably like going on almost 2 years now ago, maybe.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
And it's plenty of DJs in the county that he could have reached out to that actually DJ at the club for real. I do a lot of private events. But he reached out to me and I was like, I ain't gonna lie, Bernard, if it would have been another client, I would have been real with them too, but I would have dressed it up and made it real for him so I can make the sale. But I was like, I don't know, Bernard. I was like, I don't do all that. And he was like, no, Makia, like, you got it. I believe in you. You got it. And if I do say so myself, I had it bumping and jumping. So I'm glad he believed in me. And I took my imposter syndrome out and went and did that because, I wouldn't have wanted to be any other place. And I actually was honored to play for you because I done seen how far you come. And I'm like, you got so much further to go. Like, I just know you will go far.
And then I appreciate that. I wholeheartedly believe that, but I'm not trying to cut you off. But
yes.
You mentioned something about the first pop-up shop that I had in Galveston, right? And I kind of got a story behind that, but we can come back to it. Remind me at the end. I'm gonna ask you a question about it, and then I'm gonna give you the other side of the coin about that first pop-up shop experience.
Okay, look, remember for me because I'm being.
All right.
Okay, so.
Oh no, wait. And then y'all who gonna be watching this, you gotta watch it all the way through to find out the importance of the story that I'm gonna tell Makia at the end.
Because you're gonna find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Don't touch that dial or that mouse. All right, so. Back to we're still talking about your brand and all the great things that you do. So we talked about some people that you already shouted out, but do you have anybody that's like a dream collaboration for you or anybody that, I know you're innovative, but anybody that you kind of draw inspiration from or you've seen something you like, okay, I like that. Besides Mike, because we already talked about Mr. Fox and Modern Era. Shout out to you. But, something else.
If I had to choose, I know one brand would have to be Starter. Right?
Okay.
Because they have the star, I have an asterisk. Those are two different things. But I remember working at what was it? It was Marshall's at the time. And I was like on shoe duty, like footwear. And I was seeing, I'm like, man, it's kind of loud, but started just ain't had that time to come back into style. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I remember if not me wearing it, but like my uncles and all them wearing it as I was growing up. And then I would say a second brand would be, hmm, if I had to choose a second brand, it'd be Champion.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say Nike, Adidas, and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with Champion simply because like the message behind it is something I grew up wearing. Uh, and I think that's one of the brands that either has been revamped once upon a time, but it ain't do so hot. But I would like to see it come back around again. So I'm gonna speak into existence for either one of those brands.
Okay, and I believe that for you. I'm touch and agree with it.
Uh-huh.
And I like that you brought Starter and Champion up because obviously that's brands. We're both, from communities. And I'm sorry, that's a brand I feel like resonates maybe with everybody, but especially in the urban community. Everybody had a piece of Starter something. Champion something. I remember having Champion shoes. And I did not like them back then. But when I got grown, I showed bought me a pair of Champions. I was like, Champion ain't that bad. I feel like a champion in these. But yeah, I like that. So back to, dream collaborations and things of that nature. Everybody knows if you're from the island, it's so many notable people from this city. We got Mike Evans. We got the twins that we graduated with, McCullum twins. We got Miss Tina Knowles, excuse me. We got Budman from the Flip Phone, Reginald Ballard, Barry White, God rest his soul. We got all these people from the island. So many people that I didn't even name, but you know who you are. So have you ever spotted any notable people wearing BRYTE? They ain't even got to be celebrities. They could be local celebrities, but have you ever had any notable folks wearing BRYTE?
Any noticeable folks? I think anybody wearing my brand is noticeable. I'm gonna say that much.
Okay, I like that.
If you wore it, I saw you, or somebody told me about it, or I'm gonna hear about it the next time I see you. But I can say I personally have not had any like celebrities or anything like that, either from Galveston or outside of Galveston, in my brand that I can think of.
Okay.
Well, wait. I got an uncle, my uncle TJ, aka Mr. Air up there from Hitchcock.
Okay.
I personally know him, obviously. But yeah, I've seen him wore it plenty of times. He'll hit me up, ask for customs, and I'm always down to give it to him. But as far as like reaching out to celebrities, I think that's just something with me personally. Like, I don't want to just reach out to somebody just because, they got the followers, they got the fame and all that. But don't get me wrong, if I was to ever like meet them in person or like just so happen to be around them, I'll be more open to like reaching out to them and having them wear it. Like, I just want it to be more organic versus like, oh, like you wear my brand and I'm gonna post it and you're gonna get these sales and things. You know what I mean? So that's just me personally.
Well, I admire that because I feel like a lot of times, like you said, people don't always value the consumers that, are from a different walk of life that are supporting you as much as they value something. Like, prime example, somebody can sell, Bernard do shirts, right? He could sell 100 shirts, right? He should be glad that people are buying the shirts, but some people, if they didn't have the mindset he had, they'll be like, okay, but then they'll go get his free shirt to a celebrity, get him a shout out. Oh, look at them wearing my. But you forgetting about the people that just spent their hard work and money, because we already know some of these people work a 9 to 5, some of these people hustle, and sometimes you gotta hustle a little harder. He even mentioned, earlier, choosing to not eat in order to hustle. It's been a lot of times that all that my subscriptions and stuff I need that hit, and I'm like, I thought I was going to get something special for lunch. Chips it is, out the vending machine. So it's like, you have to prioritize and be proud of who you are, proud of your brand, but also proud of the people that make your brand stand out. Because, of course, it's BRYTE and stands out on its own, but it's the people that make it go around more, too, as well. People know of you more and know the brand more because they rocking it, because obviously they believe in you and believe in the brand.
Exactly. I couldn't say it any better.
All right. Oh. What has been your biggest lesson on this hustle journey?
My biggest lesson. Ooh, I don't. Ooh, let me not say that. My biggest lesson. Okay, I think my biggest lesson on this journey is one, hearing and understanding that not everybody can go with you.
Mm.
I think that is the biggest thing.
Whew.
Initially, you hear that, but you don't understand it until you actually like in it, so to say.
Yeah.
So like, I got friends, I got family, and I'm not bashing them or nothing like that. It's just I can't put some of them in the same rooms that I'm gonna be in.
Mm.
But what I can do is I can make a room for them.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I can't take you to
Mhm.
X, Y, and Z with me, so to say, or I can't bring you on this brand run because simply like you like what you see on social media.
Mhm.
You're not gonna like the work behind it. I seen your work
Yeah.
ethic, and I'm not bashing you, but
Yeah.
I just know like there's something else out there that you may be more comfortable with versus you just trying to feed into what you see like on social media, so to say. So I think that is like the biggest lesson that I've learned thus far, and I'm still trying to learn and understand it, but it's something that I resonate with the most.
And I like that you said that because again, it's not that you're bashing them, but
Mhm.
people don't understand a lot of work goes into being a hustler, especially when you're somebody like Bernard and myself that has a lot of things going on outside of how we hustle and also have a full-time job at that.
Mhm.
That's why I really admire you so much because I'm like, Bernard really, he just be going and getting it. And I call myself Miss Grind and Get It, but sometimes I'm like, do I want to grind and get this today? No, I'm gonna take a break. Which breaks is good as long as you don't stay there. But I just really admire that because, like you said, you cannot take everybody with you, and it's not even that they don't know how to act or whatever. Obviously, be yourself, and we're always gonna be ourselves. Because I don't know if you, yeah, we kind of touched on this, like even with his job, right? He said he shows up as his authentic self every time. He's not trying to assimilate to a different culture. He's not, changing his accent, changing whatever. He's fully Bernard like that. So obviously they can be themselves, but it's so much that goes into things. Like you see people take brand trips all the time, have brand collaborations. They're not showing you the fact they literally have to answer all these emails and do all that. You just seeing the plane and the water's so blue, so blue, so blue. That's all you seeing. You said nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. That's what you seeing. You're not seeing all that goes into that. So I really like that you touched on that because it's a lot, and you really have to have your tribe with you and people that's gonna really work, or they gonna get up early with you. They gonna are they gonna set something up? Like, prime example, my mom, I had a DJ. She set up the photo booth. Her and my granny was running it. Because why? Because we're trying to be hustlers and building this and working on it.
Exactly.
So I really love that for real. So where do you see BRYTE in the next 5 years? 2030. Where we gonna be at?
Okay.
I know.
2030
sound
that don't sound good.
sound full.
I definitely see BRYTE in some type of shape or form, a studio space. It's gonna be completely outside of wherever I reside.
Okay.
That's a guarantee. It won't be a storefront, but it'll be somewhere where I can actually work without mixing my house interventions with my clothing brand interventions. That's first and foremost. Secondly, uh, outside of that, I see me being able to hire some people. One of the things when I started the brand was initially considering hiring like felons, people who can't necessarily get a job or a decent paying job. I'm gonna say that much, just because like I personally know people, whether they family or friends, who are felons and they can't get a job. They got kids, and it's just I understand. I'm gonna say that because I know from firsthand experience. So that's another thing I would like to do. Um, and then I would say outside of that, this is
Mhm.
probably one of the most uh favorable things that I can think of is just getting more into like women's fashion
Okay.
because I know, and this disclaimer, I know that women spend the most money with my brand outside of men.
Yeah.
Uh,
Clock it.
I'm a man. I'm a man, so I'm still learning like the do's and the don'ts women brands, and that's something I want to expound on in the upcoming years. So shout out to the women, fellas. Y'all got some work to do. Y'all got some work to do.
Yeah, so okay. Shout out to the ladies spending that coins with
Uh-huh.
Bright. Okay. So you already talked about where you want to be in the next 5 years,
Yeah.
2030. So let's think 2030 and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
We know when you gone. I don't like to think like that, but what do
Mm-hmm.
you want your legacy to be?
Oh, my legacy.
Yeah.
My legacy, my legacy, my legacy. What I would like my legacy to be is any and everything that the people before me gave to me before they left this earth.
I like that.
Will that be a family member or a teacher? Like, because at the end of the day, like nobody's gonna remember like what car I bought,
Mm,
what my house looked like,
mhm.
none of those things. So, uh, I just want to be like living and breathing example. I'll be dead at that time, but I want to leave back something behind for my nieces and nephews because I don't have any kids right now, but I got
Yeah.
nieces and nephews. I want them to know that I love them dearly and I'll do anything to help them out. Uh, I want my peers or my family members who are of my age
Mm.
uh, to basically have me rub off on them in some way or fashion to where they can pass it down to whoever come like after me. Uh, and then outside of that, I don't want to make it be known like this guy was from Galveston. Like I just
Yeah.
like how you know where all these celebrities are from or these NFL players was from.
Mhm.
Any of those extravagant people, I want you to know exactly where I came from,
Mhm.
who raised me,
Uh huh.
uh, and things of that nature. So that's the legacy I want to leave behind.
That's very beautiful, Bernard. I love that. No, seriously, because a
Okay.
lot of people, they're very selfish, but in your case, you're very selfless. Thinking about your family and your peers,
Hmm.
and just, you so Galveston. Galveston. Some people have a love hate relationship with it. A
Hmm.
lot of people that's not even from Galveston, they want to run from where they come from.
Hmm.
But the fact that you have literally built this brand on literally the cement of the seawall and beyond.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this from, Broadway to Back Bay. You literally have been
Yeah.
doing, what you need to do in the causeway and the coast and beyond. So I just know that you're going to continue to do so many great things. So what's something you like to leave with our hustlers that are tuning in?
Uh, if I could leave some type of advice or word or sentence, paragraph, whatever the case may be. First and foremost, like if you know me personally, I don't care if we went to high school, middle school,
Mhm.
you met me in the cafeteria, you met me while I was mopping floors at McDonald's, and you interested in starting your entrepreneur career or path, uh, feel free to reach out to me. I might not have the time, but feel free. You know where to find me. And then outside of that, I think some a thought that sticks with me the most, or something I think about, if not daily, at least once a week, is people just always talk about like making it, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things I firmly believe in is like you'll never know if you're gonna make it if you quit. So you get what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
have to keep going to know if you're gonna make it. You know what I mean? And not only that, you should know that you're gonna make it. Don't just rely on that first statement. You should know that you're gonna make it. And once you get there, you're gonna be like, man, like this is what I've been waiting on. Like it's finally here. Cause I've had it happen before, but like
Yeah.
as far as like architecture, I've had it happen before because there was a point in time where, you know, the math wasn't mathing, I wasn't getting the job. But when I got the job, I was like, you know, it was just right on time. So you just gotta keep going. Put your best foot forward.
Thank you. And I really like that because people don't realize it's literally like, it's always the if, it's the if, it's the if.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really should want to see how good it can get for you. And you never know if you don't try and you don't continue to push forward. So, thank you. I just really appreciate that. So, would you like to dedicate this hustler highlight to anybody in your life?
I need you to elaborate on that.
So,
like, do I want to shout out somebody who this?
Basically, yeah. So this hustler highlight is dedicated to.
Do they have to be an entrepreneur?
No
matter.
It could be whoever. Somebody that maybe inspires you, or somebody that really that you got love for.
That I got love for.
Yeah.
Who do I know that really need to hear this podcast today? Give me a second. This gonna I'm gonna dedicate this podcast. I'm gonna dedicate it to Camille Sonia. That's what I'm gonna dedicate it to.
Okay.
Oh, that's my sister, by the way. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Camille. I'm sure you're gonna listen to this and you're gonna get all the way to the end. And you know that your brother loves you very much because he gave you a shout out and he dedicated this podcast to you. So yeah. So if you've reached this far, thank you for watching. And we're gonna get into Bernard's first pop-up experience because I thought I was gonna forget, but I didn't. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you questions now. Maybe just one or two.
Okay.
So tell me about the time where you seen me at this pop-up. Like, just give me your rawest thoughts at that moment in time, like from just your experience, and then I'm gonna tell you something after that.
Okay. So honestly, coming in, I was like, "Whoo, there's a lot of people in here." But I was proud of you because I was like, okay, he's making his mark, he's getting his name out there more. Because at the time, I think it was like a little bit after the brand had started, if I remember correctly, or am I right?
You're right.
Yeah. So he had all his products ready. Everything was presentable. You had your methods of payment readily available. It was diverse. Obviously, I'm not skinny, so he he had the plus sizes too. So that was a bonus because I was like, I ain't got to squeeze into nothing I can't fit. He had all that. So I just felt like you really had it together. Honestly speaking, I didn't know that was your first pop-up shop to us having this conversation right now. That's how good I felt like you did, honestly.
Okay. And then I'm also ask you like, how was like my personality or like my demeanor on that like specific day, specific time that you was there? If you can recall, like how was it?
Yeah, I got a vivid memory for the most part. I feel like you was just honestly, let the truth be told, he was just doing his thing, It was a DJ going on or whatever. I think they had a 362, but Bernard was in his lane. He didn't seem flustered, in my opinion. If he was flustered, it was literally like water on the duck's back. You was just going with the flow and doing what you needed to do. So I feel like, you to me, and it's not a bad thing. Bernard is very much a person of little words to me. He's very quiet. He's serious to himself for the most part. You can't tell because, we've been Yap City today. But, you was just being Bernard. You was looking at the challenge and taking it head on. So I have no complaints, honestly.
Okay. And I ask you all these questions, right? Because mind you, this was my first
Yeah.
pop-up experience, right? And a lot of people don't know this, right?
Mm.
Prior to that first pop-up experience, the first time like I'm just putting my brand out there face to face with people for people just to come in and view it and see what
Mm-hmm.
I'm about. And I gotta talk, I gotta network, I gotta set up, I gotta do all these things. I kid you not, like I had just found out like maybe like
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 hours before the pop up shop, maybe like 1 or 2 hours before the pop up shop, that one of my roommates had passed away, right? And this was somebody who I was just like, we wasn't even like contractually roommates. I was sleeping on his couch at the time at Prairie View, right?
Yeah.
And I came down to Galveston for the pop up shop event. And I want to say it was my older brother who had told me about it. And I kid you not, I was contemplating on not even showing up that day. I kid you not, I was just gonna just tell the lady like, hey, like I'm not gonna be able to make it. When's the next pop up shop? And I still decided to go anyway because I was like, man, if he was here, he probably would be telling me to go. Better yet, I think he was actually supposed to be attending the pop up shop that same day because he was in town at the time. So I say all that to say it's not like a pity story or
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it a sob story. I think that all just ties back into the hustler mentality that we've
Yeah.
been talking about. Like you either gonna barbecue or mildew. Like people die every day. Uh, some people that are closer to you than others, but you just got to keep pressing forward. And I'm gonna shout out Jordan Boxley. Love you. Uh, yeah, that's the story. Oh,
Yeah,
my bad.
y'all. That was that was I wasn't expecting that, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, like he said, you Janae Aiko, I think that's how you say it. I always pronounce her name wrong. But she have a song and literally in the song she say, you gotta keep going. She literally keep repeating that. Um and it's true because it's like you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have good days. Um it's certain songs I play that literally put me to a certain memory in a certain time. And if I think about that person, like if I'm playing Zydeco, sometimes I start thinking about my grandpa and I just get sad. Or it'll just that's just how music does with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta keep going. And I remember it's been a few times where I've done stuff and I'm just like literally boohoo crying. And I'm like, okay, I okay, you got to get it together for real. Cause you here to do a job. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
had you not told me that, I wouldn't even know because I don't know Jordan personally, and rest in peace.
Uh-huh.
But I did see, where he did pass away. So, and I know it affected a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I can't imagine you being, close to somebody like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
and you literally getting that unexpected news and still going
Mm-hmm.
on and doing what you were obligated to do. And it just shows the hustler in you. Because one thing about me, like literally, a contract is a contract. You know, I don't care what I got to do. I might wake up and I'm having a horrible day. Unless I'm literally physically sick and I'm contagious and going to get somebody else sick, I'm going to show up. I done showed up through all kinds of aches and pains.
Mm-hmm.
Mental, physical, everything. Because I'm that dedicated to the hustle and dedicated to what I do. So again, I just think honestly, I could go on and on about Bernard, but everything that he has said, and of course the things that I've said, just has shown you a sneak peek into his brand, and the story behind it, and where he continues to go and where he wants to go. And I just know he will go far. I said that a lot, but I mean it. I'm stamping it on this day and this time,
Mm-hmm.
and he know when he do make it big to remember his friend, little old me, and know that I said it since day one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is back in the gap when he was the party king, but that's another story for
Oh
another
man.
time. But yeah, so thank y'all for tuning in again. I'm Kia. here with DJ Cajun Spice, Palm Tree Princess Productions, and most importantly, Hustle Hour, the Hustler Highlight. Here with Bernard Cunningham Jr. of BRYTE. And just a quick shout out to our sponsors on today. Shout out to Vision Galveston, Water Tree Galveston, of course, DJ Cajun Spice, Palm Tree Princess Productions, Mrs. G's Divine Creations, who helps us sometimes, and Sky's the Limit Productions, aka DJ Big Mac, who so graciously has been helping us with filming today. And yeah, thank you for everybody that has ever supported Hustle Hour. And I hope something you hear in these gems that are dropped resonate with you on today. Tune in and we'll see you next month for our physical Hustle Hour. Bye.